Hello everyone, welcome back to Placement Buddies. Let me welcome you all to another episode of Let's Hear from the Experienced, Season 2. So, in order to share his interview experience with Vedanta, today we have Samir with us. Hello Samir, welcome to Placement Buddies.
Hi everyone, my name is Samir and I'm glad to be here at Placement Buddies.
Yeah. So, guys, just to let you all know that Samir is a viewer of our Placement Buddies channel and he reached us through Instagram. And I must tell you, Samir, we are very glad to host you here. Please tell us something about yourself.
Guys, before we move ahead, you might not know that many of you, about 93% of you, do not subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to our channel, turn on the notifications, do press the bell icon. I request you all. Now let's continue.
Yeah, so my name is Samir and I am from Aligarh. It's a town in UP and I'm currently a final year student of Masters in Human Resource Management at Aligarh Muslim University.
Yeah. So Samir, Vedanta तुम्हारे कॉलेज में कब आई थी and how was the selection process basically?
So they came around December. Actually, they didn't came. It was all online.
Okay.
Firstly, they took out the resumes on around 21 of December, and after that, they conducting the aptitude test on 26th of January around. So yeah, so there were four steps. First was application round, second was aptitude test, and third was GD, and fourth was personal interview.
Okay, okay. So, for which role were you selected, Samir?
So basically, I am selected for officer trainee role in HR.
Okay. Can you just elaborate a bit about your role to our audience, like those who are not
So
aware of
yeah,
it?
yeah. So it's basically officer trainee in HR is like the role in which we have to work in areas such as talent management, talent acquisition, recruitment, and HR analytics. So it's basically currently it's a role of trainee. There will be 6 months training, and after that, like we'll be assigned a post.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, so Samir, as you mentioned, there was like an online test, and after that there was the resume. So you mentioned there was a resume shortlisting, and then after that there was an online test, and followed by the interview. So can you just elaborate about the first step which you had in the recruitment drive?
Okay, so first step was application round in which our resume was collected. So this is basically to filter out the candidates because they didn't accept more than 1 year of
Okay.
gap and they require 60% throughout 10th to go masters. So this round was initially to filter out the candidates based on that.
Okay, okay, okay. So then after the online test happened. Now, in online test, what type of questions you were asked and where did you prepare them from?
So basically, there were 51 questions in that test, and it changes every year. Like our seniors said that it will consist of equal weightage of quant, reasoning, English, and technical portion.
Okay.
But this year, there were more technical questions. So like 30 marks were of technical only. That is HR questions and labor laws.
Okay, okay.
And 7 marks each consist of English, critical thinking, and data interpretation. So reasoning and maths were not there
Mm-hmm.
this year.
So you being from an engineering background, as you mentioned that there were like questions related to HR and labor laws. So from where did you prepare those questions from?
So labor laws, basically I prepared the acts. So there are bare acts of each labor law, like important labor laws such as Factory Act, Contract Labor, and PF Act, and all these acts we used to learn in our academics. So I just revised my notes only and prepared short questions for MCQ only.
Mm-hmm. And talking about the quants, logical and verbal reasoning, what were your sources of preparation for them?
So I'm from engineering background, so I didn't prepare maths as such, but just I gone through the India Bricks and Exam Veda. There are two platforms, websites, so there were a lot of questions. So I just practiced from there.
Understood. Okay, so after the online test was over, what were the procedures? Interview?
Yeah. So actually, GD didn't take place because after the test, 12 students were shortlisted, out of which 6 were selected. So they didn't take the GD this year. Maybe
Okay.
because they wanted to take more students. That's why. So directly interview happened after the test.
Maybe if the number of selections were more, they would have taken GD in order to filter out the candidates, but
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that case, they directly proceeded to interview. So how many rounds of interview were there? Was it like
So since we are from HR, so there were like one round only
Okay,
because
okay.
HR is like basic questions. So
Mhm.
only one round was there.
Mm-hmm. And in that, like the panelists asked you questions related to your engineering background, or it was just HR based questions?
No, I didn't. They didn't ask me anything about engineering and
Mm-hmm.
why I switched the stream from engineering to HR.
Mm-hmm.
My whole interview was around the resume, I will say.
Okay,
Like
okay,
whatever I have written in the resume, they were asking each and everything about that
okay,
and
okay.
elaborate that.
Mm-hmm. So, what all, can you elaborate as some of the examples of your resume-based questions? What all have you written in your resume, and what other questions they have extracted from that?
So basically, for example, I haven't written in the skills in the resume such as leadership and problem solving. So they
Mm-hmm.
were asking about that, like what is your leadership style and how you handle your team,
Mm-hmm.
and what are different types of leadership styles they asked regarding that. And
Mm-hmm.
I have done 3 internships in
Okay.
recruitment and talent acquisition. So they individually asked about each of them. Like they were also asking like theoretical portion of what I have done in practical. Like for example, I have done performance management. So they not ask me like how I did it. They asked me in general what are the methods of performance management.
Mm-hmm.
And in one internship, I have done end-to-end recruitment. So they asked me about like what are the steps involved in the end-to-end recruitment process.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them that. And similarly, I took exit interviews in one company. So they asked me how I took the exit interviews and how it helped the company to retain their employees. So they were
Okay.
asking like what I have done practically and also the theory side of it.
Okay.
What
Okay.
is the
Okay.
theory? So they asked me everything around from my resume. So I have mentioned in the skills portion like leadership and problem solving. So they asked me what are the different styles of leadership and what is your style and how you handle your team. So these were the questions, and all the questions were around the internship. I have done 3 internships in talent acquisition and recruitment. So they asked me like I have written in the resume that I took exit interviews. So they asked me like how I took the exit interviews and how it helped the company to retain employees. So they asked me that. And similarly, in one internship, I have done performance management. So they asked me like what kind of method you used at that company and what are the other methods of
Okay.
performance management. So I told them all the methods. And similarly, they asked me end-to-end recruitment, what are the steps involved? Just I just named all the steps. So they asked the theory side of what I have done in practical.
Okay, okay. So I must say, Samir, your the practical experience you received from all of your internships have helped you a lot in cracking this particular interview.
Yeah, because I think most of the questions were around internships only, like what I have done in each internships.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So, Samir, coming back to the interview, why do you feel like for students belonging to engineering background also should try in this field of HR? How does it become beneficial for someone from engineering background?
So I think firstly it's a choice. So if you want to switch career from maybe engineering to HR, then it's no problem. But also I think I have done my engineering production technology.
Mm-hmm.
So as you see, Vedanta is also like a company which is dealing in mining.
Yeah.
So they have they did extraction of aluminium, copper, and all these. So in my course, I've also learned like these things, how
Mm-hmm.
production of aluminium takes place. So as an HR, I think the work of HR is the same. Like HR helps the business to win in the marketplace.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm from engineering, so I can better understand the business of Vedanta. So I think it will help me because I have done in my production technology all these things. Like because I have done BWalk in
Mm-hmm.
production technology. So BWalk is basically more of a practical course. So I think what I did in BWalk will surely help me in better understanding what is Vedanta and what's their business is all about.
Right. All right, Samir. So, that was a crisp interview experience which you have shared with us. So, before wrapping it up, Samir, any particular tips which you want to give to our juniors who are aspiring a career in HR or like who are preparing for Vedanta?
So I would say it will be like no, an average or medium interview. To be honest, not that difficult. But I think everyone should be thorough with their basics, and especially for Vedanta, I would say labor laws. You should be well versed with all the labor laws that are there. So labor laws are very important. That include Factory Act, Trade Union Act. All the labor laws are very important because in test, I guess 15 or 16 questions were from labor laws apart from HR.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be thorough with your basics of HR and labor laws. and that should be it. And also you can watch like Placement Buddies, the one channel where there people share experiences of interviews, so that will help. And also there are websites such as India Breaks and
Yeah.
Exam Veda. You can go there. And also Glassdoor is one such website, Quora. So I took help from all these resources and
Mhm.
did what I could all. So this will help.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Samir, for joining Placement Buddies and sharing your interview experience. We wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.